Hey guys, how are you?
Good. Good.
How was everybody's weekend?
Good.
Did you guys do anything fun?
No.
No, nothing?
Well, no, wait, yes, I did.
What'd you do?
I saw one of my friends that I haven't seen in a really long time.
Oh, that's fun. Nice.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in a really long time, so she looked a little different.
Oh goodness, that's fun though.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Selah, are you there? Selah and Logan and Ureli checked in at 8:45 this morning. There's Raymond with his blanket. Raymond's got his blankie. Selah, unmute yourself, please.
Yeah.
You were logged into the class at 8:45 this morning.
Yeah. I'm always.
Well, it's late
No.
for late
Seven.
for the day. 7?
Yeah, 7:35. I was logged in.
I know, we don't start till 9:45.
I know.
Well, I thought maybe you forgot.
No.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, I'm super excited today to turn the class over to Mrs. Rios. She's going to be leading. She has created a quiz for you guys. It's awesome. So I get to sit back and just observe. Please be respectful and just like you guys have been. And also I want to remind you guys that Wednesday, which is a blue day, is a minimum day. So please be sure that you understand the minimum day schedule, as attendance is starting to get cracked down on. Like, your attendance is a huge accountability. So you need to make sure that you go to the Don Juan Avila Middle School website and know what the minimum day schedule is for this Wednesday, which is a minimum day. All right. Does anybody have any questions for me? Levi, nice haircut, by the way. Looks good.
Thanks. I was just gonna ask if there's a reason why we're having a minimum day on Wednesday.
Yes, it's time for the teachers in the afternoon to meet in their content areas. So, like, I get to go meet with math, and we get to do some planning. You know, there's a lot of planning that needs to take place for the online instruction, but also just to make sure that we know where we're going while we're 100% online, and then what it's going to look like when we come back, where students are on campus, and then some students are going to be online as well. So we have a lot of planning to do. That's a good question. It's not so that Mr. Koppas can go to the beach early. You guys could or do something, but I actually will be working till 3:25 on that day. Okay, good question. Anybody else have any questions? All right, Mrs. Rios, you are on. I just want to remind everybody that we are in here till 10:26. Okay, 10:26. Oh, Isaac has a question.
Mr. Koppas?
Yes, sir.
You glitched out when you said when it was. Can you repeat it again?
When what was?
When it was like, when
Minimum day?
Yeah, minimum day.
Wednesday.
Oh,
So
this was it?
Yeah, yep. So you gotta make sure you know what that schedule is. It's on the Don Juan Avila Middle School website.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself. It's 9:50, so 5 minutes past the start time. Mrs. Rios, is going to teach. Make sure you guys aren't super mean to her, or else I'll take it out on you, and progress reports are coming up, so I'll just fail you.
Okay, so we're going to continue on with the Newton's laws of motion. We're going to kind of retouch on the PowerPoint that we did back last week, so it'll serve as sort of a review and just making sure you guys are tip-top, and then we will move into a quiz. So let me present here. Okay. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Where's the quiz at?
So we will do the quiz after we review the PowerPoint, but it'll be on Canvas, and I can walk you guys through it and help you get there.
Yes.
Okay. So, Newton's laws overview. Does anybody remember the Newton's first law of motion? You can just shout it out.
I do.
What is it?
It is. I have my notes with me. It is. An object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion will stay in motion at the same. Will just stay at motion. Sorry.
You're good. So yeah, Newton's first law of motion. Objects at rest will stay at rest, and objects in motion will stay in motion at the same velocity, unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. So objects will just keep doing what they're already doing unless there is something to throw it off. Oh, second law. Does anybody remember Newton's second law?
I do. It's the acceleration of an object depends on the amount of the force acting on the object and the mass of the object.
Yeah. So basically, the more force you have, the more acceleration you'll have. The more mass you have, the less acceleration you will have. And the less force you put on an object, the less it will accelerate. Less mass, more acceleration. Does anybody have the third law?
I do.
Go ahead.
The third law is when one object applies a force on a second object, the second object's an equal force.
Yeah, awesome job. So when one object applies a force on a second object, the second object applies an equal force back on the first object in the opposite direction. So every action has an equal and opposite reaction. There's our summary of our first law, second law, and third law. And now we will go into the examples here. So Newton's laws explain how scientists expect motion to occur, and all three laws can be applied to every situation. However, some situations are really good examples of a specific law. So, do you guys know which law this is? Can any of you remember and tell me?
I think it was the first law
And why do you think it was the first law?
because it's an object that isn't moving yet.
Right.
Or it could have, and then it just stopped.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just sitting still. It's doing what it's doing. There's nothing that's throwing it off. What about this one?
I think that
Second
one.
law.
Oh, one at a time, guys.
I think that one is the second law as well.
Anyone else?
I think it's the first law.
Why do you think it's the first law?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, okay. Which law do you think it is? Which law?
I thought it was the first one.
Why did you think it was the first?
Because it was at rest, but then I read the rest and I was like, I got it wrong.
Okay, yeah. So it would be at rest if it was just sitting there, not doing anything, but it is shooting up into the sky. So it's doing something. Okay, any other answers? None? Okay, so it could be the second law because of the force that the gases are pushing out that's causing it to shoot up into the sky, but it could also be the third law where it has an action where it's the gas is coming out, the reaction would be that it is shooting up. What about this one?
I think it's the third law because it's adding force to the second one.
Okay. Anyone
I
else?
think it's two different laws in the sense of that there's
Yeah, I
separate
can see a
photos.
little of the second law and a little of the third law.
Yeah, me too.
Can you guys explain?
Well, why I thought of that is because on the photo of the guy that's not in like the dish kind of thing, he's just like hitting the ball and it's like just it's going.
Mm-hmm.
That's the second law. No wait, sorry. That's the third law. I think they're both the third law. I just changed my answer, sorry.
Okay, so I was thinking second law because there is force and acceleration. So he is, in the first picture, he's barely putting any force into it. So there's not as much acceleration. Whereas in the second picture, you can see that he's really swinging into the ball and it is flying out into the sky. It's really accelerating. What about this one?
I think it's the first law
Why do you think so?
because objects in motion will remain in motion.
Right. So there isn't anything that is throwing him off. He's just hands up in the air and he looks like he is just going. He's at a constant speed and that would technically be first, yeah. What about this one? We have a semi-truck and a bike.
I think that one's the third law because it's saying versus. So if they hit each other, then the big truck would win over the motorcycle because the motorcycle is much smaller and doesn't have as much mass covering it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the big truck has a lot more mass and it's obviously much bigger than a motorcycle.
Yeah. So that's really great thinking. What law has to do with mass?
That one, oh, it's the second law.
Yeah, so second law, because I think what we see is a semi-truck versus a motorcycle, bike, whatever. So the semi-truck obviously has a lot more mass. It's way heavier. So it's not going to be as fast. It won't compare. When we see a bike, that's obviously a lot lighter weight. You can go much more faster. There's a lot more force in that, so it can accelerate better, higher rate. So second law for that one. What about this one? Any answers?
I think it's the second law of motion because the more mass you have, the more force you have, the more acceleration.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I agree with Evan.
Does anyone else agree or disagree with Evan?
I agree with Evan. Because the amount of, because the guy has to put a certain amount of force to get himself over it. So I agree with Evan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Evan too.
All right. Yeah, I agree with Evan also. I think that that is Newton's second law. What about this one?
First law. Wait, no.
Why do you think first law?
Because the object was going super fast, and then it hit like a rock, and the person just flew over and just fell.
Does anybody agree or disagree?
I agree.
Okay. So
I agree with Celia.
Okay, yeah. So I would say that that's Newton's first law. He was going probably at a constant rate, and something, maybe friction, a rock, who knows, something stopped him and threw him off. Yeah. What about this one? What do you guys think? Any guesses?
I'm not sure.
Not sure?
Yeah.
I have no idea. That one I have no what?
So can you find an action and reaction in the picture at all?
That the boat was moving, and then the person is trying to get off without it floating away, because she needs at least 1 foot on that still, on the boat.
Okay.
On the miniature one.
Yeah. So she's stepping out of the small boat onto the big boat, and when she jumps onto the big boat, her back foot is pushing the smaller boat away. So the action would be her jumping onto the bigger boat. The reaction would be that because she is doing that, her back foot, the force is pushing away the smaller boat. So this was an example of Newton's third law. There's an action and a reaction. All right. So, does anybody have any questions on what we just did? No questions? All right, let's go ahead. So we're going to move into the quiz now. So you guys will want to go onto Canvas, click on Modules, and you should see week 5 describing motion. You'll want to go down here to where it says Quiz, Newton's Law of Motion, and click that. Let me know if you guys need any help.
It says I need an access code.
Yeah, mine does too.
You're muted, Mr. Coppice.
It did say you need an access code. I'm going to get the access code for you. Keep reviewing. I'll be right back.
All right. So we'll let him go get the access code, and we can let's chat. Let's chat about Newton's laws of motion. Does anybody have let's go over all 3 and we'll take examples from you guys. Does anybody have an example of Newton's first law of motion? Sevilla.
Okay. I am prepared. So so for the first law of motion, for my example is I have a dog, so when I take him on a walk and we're just in motion, so we're staying in motion, and then when he just lays down, he's gonna stay that way unless an unbalanced force moves him. So that'd be me. Moves him so that he will get up and continue moving again.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. Does anybody else have any examples of first law of motion? What about second law of motion? Does anybody have any examples of second law of motion? Sevilla?
I got all of them. My example for the second law is when me and my mom are in the kitchen, it's like really small in our kitchen, so we run into each other a lot of the time. And so that's my example, that we run into each other in the kitchen.
Yeah, that makes sense. That is a really good example. What about anybody else? Does anybody else have an example for the second law of motion?
Muted, Miss Rios.
Uh-oh, thank you. Does anybody have an example, any other examples on the second law of motion? No? What about third law? Sevilla? Yeah?
My example is like, when mine is like my third example isn't the best one, but
That's okay.
when we're on when I'm on the trampoline at my friend's house, I'm putting a certain amount of force on the trampoline so that I can go up.
Yeah, exactly. The action would be you jumping, and the reaction would be that the spring, the force of the trampoline shooting you up. Yeah, that's a perfect example. All right, well, wonder where Mr. Coppice is. Hopefully he gets the access code, but if not, I can probably just present and walk you guys through it, and you can maybe type your answers in the chat, but hopefully he gets an access code. Oh, he's back. Perfect timing.
Back, I have the access code, but I need to do something real quick. Were there any other questions? Any other questions you guys had before you start the quiz?
Nope. No.
So the access code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Is that really AM code?
Yeah.
Oh.
Selah, you can't have your dog with you. Your dog would not be with you.
That's not me.
Sevilla.
I mean,
That's
Sevilla.
Sevilla.
Yeah.
Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I got it. I got in.
Okay, let me know once all of you are in. Give me like a thumbs up or put it in the chat box that you got in.
Are we doing the quiz together?
So I will present and I will read the questions to you guys, like a brief overview, but then you're going to independently do the quiz on your own, but I will be here if you need any help.
Okay.
All right, is everybody good? All right. So I'm going to walk you through, I'll read you the questions, and then you guys will be on your own, all right? So, first question is, according to Newton's first law of motion, an object that is moving will change its motion only if what kind of forces act on it? You have 4 choices. Question 2. Which of the following describes an application of Newton's first law? Which of Newton's laws is illustrated when a magician pulls a tablecloth out from under the dishes without the dishes falling to the ground? Question 4. A shopping cart will move faster if it contains few items with less mass than a shopping cart that contains large items with more mass. This is an example of which of Newton's laws? Question 5. According to Newton's second law, if you increase the force on an object, its acceleration, you have your options as well. Question 6. According to Newton's second law, if you increase the mass of an object, its acceleration. Question 7. According to Newton's third law of motion, if an ice skater exerts a force on a wall, she will what? Question 8. According to Newton's third law, if someone jumps off a skateboard, the skateboard will roll backward because, and you have a baseball bat hits a baseball with a force of 100 newtons. What is the force and direction exerted by the ball on the bat? And lastly, the skateboarder is riding to school. He accidentally hits a pole, according to Newton's third law. So you guys can go ahead and take the quiz. And once you are done with it, type in the chat box, hey, I finished. And if you need any help at all, just unmute yourself and let me know, all right?
Does this quiz change our grade inside this class, or it doesn't matter?
Well,
It's just for practice.
it says up here at the top that it's worth 10 points. So you do want to do your very best, okay?
Okay. Are we allowed to retake these or not?
Mr. Kroppus, are you there? Okay, he's not answering. I'm going to assume that yes, you probably can retake it, but I'm sure there's a number of times, like a limit. Did you already take the quiz?
No, I'm on the second last question.
What question are you on?
The second last one.
The second to last?
Yeah.
You zoomed through that quiz. Make sure you're reading it. Alright? If you need any help, ask me, okay?
Okay.
No question is a dumb question.
Miss Rios, I'm kind of struggling with answering the second question.
Yeah, that's okay. So let me switch my
There's a lot
tab.
of answers.
Okay, number 2. Which of the following describes an application of Newton's first law? So we have a car stops suddenly, but the passengers in the car are thrust forward into the seatbelts. The force pushing downward on a box is equal to the force pushing upward on the box. Earth's tectonic plates collide with equal force and equal acceleration. And the force of gases pushing downward from a rocket launches the rocket upward against gravity. Which one did you think it was?
first answer, but I'm also kind of, I'm thinking that it's the first one
Why do you think it's the first one?
because when the car was at motion and then it just suddenly stops, and what you would normally do when it suddenly stops when you're moving pretty fast is you go forward.
You're correct. Yeah. It is the first one. Yep. All right, Sam. What did you score? Did you do good?
For mine, it didn't
Hang
tell.
on a second. Hang on one second.
me too. It doesn't show it.
Oh, it doesn't show
Yeah.
your score?
It only shows you like how many minutes do you do? I did 6 minutes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
let me see here. Let me see if I can see it in the grade book. Sevilla, or I'm sorry, not Sevilla. Selah, are you done too?
Yeah, it says your quiz has been muted.
Okay, so stay put, guys, just for 1 second, all right?
I have a question. What do we do if we're done?
So if you are done, stay put just for a few minutes and I'm trying to see if I can find it in the grade book, but if not, then we will ask Mr. Kopis if you guys are free to go once you're finished, but just stay put for right now, all right?
Okay.
Who was that? Yes, Isaac, you can use the restroom.
How are we doing? Are we having some
So-
problems with retakes?
So they're telling me that when they finish, they can't see what grade they get, and I'm in the grade book. I'm right here at the quiz to see what they're scoring, but it's not showing me, so I'm not sure what you want to do about that.
It's probably showing me in the grade book.
Okay, if you want to double check, you can.
I'm curious why we're taking that quiz so fast. If we went through that quiz and it was 5 minutes and you already are asking for a retake, did we really read and process the questions and did we ask for help? Because this is not a timed test. So we might have to do an alternative assignment if you did a retake. Maybe we could give them the Google
form.
the Google assessment. Let's do that. So we're not going to give a retake. We're going to give an alternative one if they need to. Who was asking for a retake?
Nobody was asking just yet. They aren't sure what their score is, so nobody can see what they're getting to know if they do need to take a retake or not.
Oh.
Yeah, but they all are finishing, and I said the same thing. I was like, wow, that was rather fast, guys.
Well, now you know sometimes they get clickbait happy and they click, and they don't ask for help. We're not going to do a retake. So there's no retake on this test. We'll give you an alternative test.
There you go. No retakes. So make sure you guys are reading and doing your best. If you have questions, you can ask.
I have a question on the fifth question.
Alrighty, let me
Um,
scroll down to that. What's your question?
Because it's saying, according to Newton's second law, if you increase the force on an object, its acceleration. Does that mean if the force is going is going faster, then wouldn't the acceleration be the same, or would it be different?
It would be different. So Newton's second law has to do with mass and with force and acceleration. We'll put mass aside. So if we're just looking at force, if something has more force, so say you are you're pushing a cart at the store. If you push it really hard, does it go fast or slow?
Depends.
It depends what's in it, but let's take mass out of it. We just have an empty cart here. 2 empty carts, and we push one really slow, and then we shove the other one. So if we're shoving, what happens to that cart? Is it going to go fast or slow?
Fast.
Right, and if we are just barely pushing the other one, what about that one? Fast or slow?
Slow.
Okay, so if we increase the force, the push, the acceleration is going to what?
Increase.
Yes, it is going to increase. Good question.
Thank you.
So we're not allowed to retake it?
No retakes. There is an alternative test. So if you fail this quiz, then we will be giving you a second one.
Okay.
Yep.
How can you tell if you fail it?
I'm going into the grades right now, Selah, and I will have a conversation with you or send an email to you.
Okay.
How long did it take you to take this quiz, Selah?
7 minutes.
Okay. So that's less than a minute a question, right? Yep, we're having people that are rushing through this, and right now I have 2 passing quizzes
Oh, you guys.
of the people that submitted the test.
We want to make sure that when we're taking our tests, we are taking our time, especially if there's no time limit on it. And don't be scared to ask questions. It doesn't matter if everybody else is being quiet or nobody else is asking. You might ask a question that they have. So if you want me to give you that Google form or would we upload that to Canvas? Mr. Coppus?
Yes?
Okay, so then just let me know what you want to do with that.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to see if, let's try this. I want, let me go to grades. I just want to try something.
Okay.
Selah, you stated that you completed the test, right?
Yes.
Okay, I want to see if you can go back and take it right now. Let me see if I can save. Go ahead and see if it lets you take it again.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and retake it. I mean, you guys should have, I would have my Newton's first law of motion, I've had my reading guide open. You guys could have the slide sheet open. This is all open notes. And the bell's gonna ring. You guys actually were out of here in 1 minute. So you guys have till tonight to finish this. Okay?
It
You
says
might-
I already did it.
It won't let you retake it?
No.
Okay, then we'll be giving you an alternative assessment to take on your live day. So tomorrow is a gold day. You'll have to take the alternative assessment.
Yes.
Okay? Everybody else, you need to have this quiz done by midnight tonight, and your next period is starting in 4 minutes.
Great.
Bye, Sam.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Ben. Bye, Juan. Bye, Luke.
Bye.